Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I am going to talk to you about trust. And a couple of years ago, I sent this study out to Project 6-8 Bible Study. And after doing a request of what they wanted to hear, and actually the biggest thing that they wanted to talk about was trust. And so I actually broke it down into 3 different stages. And that was 1, trusting in yourself, 2, trusting in others, and 3, trusting in God. And it's a little twist to it, but they really enjoyed it, so I am happy I get to share it with you today. Also, before we move on, you see this little head right here. This is Juke. He is our dachshund, who is literally being the biggest baby today and attached at the hip. So you might see him moving around down here. Or barking. Who knows? He likes to do that too. So here we go. So the night I wrote this study actually was written during Once Upon a Time. So there's a show that Seth and I were really obsessed with. Let's just say it like that. And we were watching it, and I got this idea from this episode. And I actually wrote a blog post first because it inspired that, and it was called The Trees That Built Me. And it kind of just created this idea that I'm sharing with you now. Sometimes trusting in God looks like trusting in the abilities that He gave you. And I know I talk about this a lot, but it is so important to realize that this is what we need to do. Long story short. So I actually attached a link in the Bible study to show the scene that I was talking about. But I can't do that here. I'm not that savvy yet. And so I'll just kind of discuss it a little bit. So in the beginning of this scene, Murda, who's really good with the sword, and you probably have seen her on the Disney movie Brave. So that character. And but in real she's like a actress is actually acting, so she's real life and not animated. In the beginning, she chugs this potion as she goes to face the 4 clans to try to gain her throne back, because she is the rightful queen of the 4 clans. And but she drinks this potion, and she leans over after a few seconds because she's like, why isn't it working? And her friend Belle, and she goes, oh yeah, I switched it out with water. And Murder kind of looks at her like, what? How am I ever going to do it now? And Belle believed in her and her abilities. So Belle, I love this quote that Belle said, and it was, I knew that you wouldn't trust in yourself unless you had no other chance or no other reason to. And how cool of a friend, first of all. But let's spin this into a Christian learning version of this. So Murda taking that potion is like an example of her not trusting in her God-given gifts enough to take on the clans alone. But Belle believes that she can do it and switches the potion with water, allowing Murda to defend her throne and save her brothers like the true warrior she is. Murda's gifts are courage, passion, love, and of course archery, because she takes out all 3 arrows with 1 shot. But before Belle filled her back with confidence, she was scared and doubted all of those gifts. How often do we doubt the gifts of God? How often do we stop trusting our God-given abilities? How often do we lose trusting in ourselves? I do it all the time, and I know you guys probably do too. Weekly, actually, writing and sending out studies and doing these vlogs and working on the podcast right now makes me doubt myself, because I don't want to actually ever lead anybody in the wrong direction. And for multiple reasons, for biblical reasons, because teachers of the Bible actually get held at a certain level, and it talks about that in the book of James. But the good thing is that I know that God continues to trust in me to lead everybody who watches, or everybody who reads, or everybody who listens to Project 6-8's branches. And that is enough for me to learn and trust in my own self. God believes we can do all things through him. So why can't we? Honestly, it's a lot of human error. I mean, I know every study, I feel like there's always one thing that's always redundant, but it's true. Like, we are humans, and that's no excuse because we still need to strive um, we still need to strive to be the best followers of God's law. But we are human, and he understands that. The good thing is, even though we're human, God loves us anyway. And so to wrap this one up, I just want to leave you with this verse from Joshua 1:9, and it is, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." So whenever in doubt, cling to this verse and allow it to fill you with the strength and courage that you need to take on every single day. So, as always, much love and God bless.